Hi everyone, it's Tom here. I've got another album review for you today. I'm going to review 21 Pilots' new album, Trench. I wouldn't say I have been a 21 Pilots fan more recently because my music taste has evolved as I've gotten older. I'm not particularly fond of most commercial music, but I am open-minded and I will give it a go every now and again, so I am here. With this album. When I was a 21 Pilots fan, I did enjoy Vessel and Blurryface, and I did actually initially review Blurryface and gave it a 7 out of 10, which I now look back on and I think I shouldn't have given it a 7. No, I don't think it's worthy of a 7. I think it was too much all over the place. The songs tried to do so many different things, and I like loads of genres, but when an album tries to do so many different things and yet also tries to be commercial, it kind of irritates me to a point, because I think albums that are cohesive and have a concept and all the songs work together, yet there has to be a balance, really. There has to be a balance of good concepts, good flow, and songs have to be coherent, sound-wise, but also progress and evolve, basically. So that's the point I'm trying to make. 21 Pilots, with Blurryface at least, I feel as if they tried to do way too many things. So jumping into this album, there was, a good 3-year gap between this and Blurryface, just over 3 years, and the leading songs coming up to it, I only listened to 2. No, 3 actually. There was 4 released, I only listened to 3. Only once. Them being Jumpsuit, Nico and the Niners, and Levitate. And I will start by saying Jumpsuit, when I first heard it, I thought it was trying way too hard to be edgy, and, it was kind of everything that I expected it to be. Nico and the Niners, when I first heard it, it felt a bit underwhelming to me. Just a stereotypical slow rap song / singing song. Levitate did show a bit of improvement, a bit of evolvement in terms of the rapping. That song's just full-on rapping, and I feel a bit of rawness and passion, with the lyrics and the flow and everything. And as I've listened to the album now, Jumpsuit and Levitate, the first 2 songs on the album, I prefer them now. They work together really well. Jumpsuit is a capable opener. It starts off things really well. It's quite a minimal starting song, and right off the bat you hear that bass. It doesn't sound completely original, but there's something new about it in terms of 21 Pilots territory. And, it builds and builds, and you do expect a climax like that with an opening song in terms of 21 Pilots. I mean, they've done it before with Heavy Dirty Soul. Yeah, Heavy Dirty Soul. Heavy Dirty Soul. Yeah. So I did expect a song like that to build to a climax, an aggressive climax, and it did. And listening to the song with the album in context, it does work. It doesn't come off too edgy, so it doesn't irritate me as much as it did initially. And it flows really well into the second song, Levitate, which I really enjoy. I really like the rap flow. I think the energy and the performances are pretty good. Pretty short song, so it's quite effective. In 21 Pilots' case, this is a point I will get onto further on in the video. I think 21 Pilots work best when they do shorter songs, because they are a commercial band. There's no way getting around that. They are a commercial band, and they're more effective when they stick to a formula, stick to a sound, and just basically perfect that sound, and maybe evolve a little bit in the process, not trying to do too many things at once. But yeah, Levitate is a pretty good song. Third track, Morph. Slower, change of pace, but also a pretty decent song. They're starting to introduce new sounds in terms of electronics and synthesizers. The drums sound a little bit thinner on this album in comparison to other albums, and in some songs, like with the rapping songs and the slower songs, it's effective. But for the most part, the drums kind of don't have much impact on the album. But in terms of electronics and synthesizers, I think 21 Pilots have brought something new to the table. And I'll say right off the bat, this album's pretty decent instrumentally. I mean, I won't go as far as to saying that the sounds delivered on this album are really, really creative. They're really ahead of the curve and really, really, unique, and they spent so much time, constructing them. But, it's a nice change of pace, and This album to me comes across a little bit darker, not just in terms of the lyrics, but just the sound and the atmosphere I get from when I'm listening to it. But this brings me on to my next point. I think the album is a little bit of a mixed bag. Not as much as Blurryface, I will say that. I will say for the most part, the middle bit of the album, which is this is a long album for them. I don't think that 21 Pilots should be making albums as long as this, you know, it's nearly an hour long. But the songs in the middle drag on a bit too much, and I start hearing shots of deja vu with vocal melodies and just the flow and sound, and when the ukulele pops up once again like it did on Blurryface and Vessel, that aspect of it did irritate me a little bit. And I just think the songs are too long and they don't really go anywhere to justify the length, if that makes sense. Not every song is like this. There are some that are, you know, more engaging, more passionate performances. And coming towards track 11, Bandito, I was starting to feel a bit underwhelmed. But funnily enough, the song Bandito is actually a pretty decent song. It has a nice progression to it, gentle pianos, a bit of rap in there. The guitar sounds towards the ends are a nice touch. But my problem is that it took way too long to get to this point. I mean, there's loads of filler. It's like The Walking Dead, you know, there's 16 episodes per season. So yeah, some great episodes, but loads of filler, and it doesn't need to be there. And I don't know why 21 Pilots do this. I mean, if it's a commercial album, you don't want to, you know, throw away these fans by putting in so much filler, because they sound so similar to each other. They don't bring anything new to the table, but, you know, but the song after Bandito, Pet Cheetah, nice change of pace here. Like I said, this album's bookended with some great songs. Just the middle is the only problem. Pet Cheetah is good. It starts off with like a choppy synthesized bass, and it has a weird ending, and it brings some more sounds to the table, which I like. I can't make heads or tails with the drumming. At some points, like the hi-hats or 808s, whatever, they sound like MIDI inputs, and I'm not too sure what to make of that. I mean, if that was intentional, then fair enough, but it's not my cup of tea. But yeah, whatever. Next song, Legend, is a pretty decent song. Starts off with some basic synthesizers. It's a more stripped back song, has some ukulele in it once again, but here it works better than in one of the previous songs in the album, simply because it's more buried in the mix, and I think that works better. The singing is better as well, definitely. I think his more dreamy approach to singing works better. Tyler Joseph is a good singer. I actually do prefer it when he raps, mostly. But also, thinking back to Vessel, I do like the approach he took to the vocal melodies there, and they actually worked better. I'm not sure if that's because, you know, it was a first for them, and here it's just them repeating the same thing, because it works the first time, so it would work the second time, you would think. But no, in my opinion, when you repeat the same riffs, melodies, hooks, it doesn't work. You need to evolve and change as a band. And they have done somewhat on this album. You know, it's a darker approach, and they have added some new sounds, some new synthesizers along the way. And there seems to be a bit of a concept of an album, you know, a bit of self-loathing lyrics, a little bit of inspiration in there as well. For the most part, the lyrics are a little cliche, but I mean, you can expect that from any commercial band. So, you know, that's not a major negative point there. The last song, Leave the City, is a good closer. I was actually expecting this song to go explosive at the end, like Goner. Not saying that's a bad song. I'm glad they didn't do that. Very glad, because it leaves the album on a softer note, a sad note. Not much of a silver lining there, and I prefer that. I like the ride cymbals on this song. I like the drumming on this song. I think the approach to this song is pretty good. The slower pace really works well, and, you know, it's relaxing in a way, but leaves not a sour taste in your mouth, but it leaves you with a bit of sadness and a bit of emotion, which doesn't appear much on this album, especially in the middle. In terms of all the songs, in the duration of the middle of the album, they don't all follow the exact same formula. The point here that I'm trying to make is that they're not that memorable. compared to the songs at the start and the end. There might be a few exceptions along the way. I mean, this is a long album, 14 tracks. In my opinion, this would have been better if it was 35, 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes max, not 56 minutes. You know, 10, 11 tracks. Shorter songs. Not trying to do too much. I don't think this is trying to do too much as Blurryface, like I've said. You know, it's a better album. It's a better experience to listen to than Blurryface, in my opinion. There might not be songs that stand out more as Blurryface, but Blurryface had a lot of songs that annoyed me to the point where I really disliked them. And I can't really say that on this album. There's only songs that just underwhelm me a bit, and I just won't ever choose to listen to them again. But there are some songs that I would choose to listen to again. But then again, nothing really is amazing here. That's what I want to leave this video on. Nothing really sticks out, is memorable, creative, or pulverizing, I guess is a good word to use. They played it safe, a little. Just a little. Not too much. They changed a little bit. You know, they obviously had time to reflect and change the sound, which is fine. But for me, personally, this album is a little bit of a mixed bag, with some capable songs that do lead into some interesting areas, and that's all I can say. I'm feeling a 5.9 out of 10. Thanks for watching.